How do you follow the law, protect yourself, your practice, prescribe safely, and do right by your patients in today's aggressive enforcement and regulatory environment? That's the big question. And like medicine, the answer is just as much art as it is science, or here, law. If you are looking for an all-encompassing Bible that gives you one all-purpose easy answer, you won't find one, because it doesn't exist. But if you know what you have to know, what you have to follow, what you have to stay current on, and what you need outside expert advice on, you'll be optimally positioned to protect yourself in the event you come under investigation, and you'll have the best chance of prevailing against a government inquiry or even a criminal prosecution if you end up being subjected to such a nightmare. What law do you have to know? The Federal and State Controlled Substance Acts, your state's Medical Practice Act, your state's prescribing guidelines and regulations, and you have to stay current on all of these things as they are updated, modified, amended, deleted, or otherwise revised. That's not a task most doctors have time for. It's why you have a lawyer to help you learn and stay on top of it. But reading over these laws is not enough. That's because the Controlled Substance Act only lists drugs. The Medical Practice Act and prescribing guidelines and regulations are written in the most vague of terms to give wide berth to doctors in utilizing their advanced training and their professional judgment and discretion. Updates to laws and regulations are not always easy to learn about, access, or understand. And perhaps most importantly, just because you interpret the law as saying one thing, or permitting you to practice in a certain way, that doesn't help you learn or understand how law enforcement interprets it. And law enforcement's interpretation is of paramount importance, because it is they who possess the power to profoundly disrupt your life, threaten your freedom and livelihood, wreak havoc on your reputation, and do other catastrophic damage, whether or not it turns out their suspicions about you are correct. This is why you need expert legal advice on complying with the criminal law of prescribing controlled substances. I'll give you an example of one approach, mine. I advise healthcare professionals, both providers and employers, on how to comply with healthcare criminal laws and protect themselves before and during an investigation. I try and build a wall of protection around providers and employers so that an investigation might be avoided, and if one begins, the provider or employer has the best chance possible of prevailing, not being prosecuted, and not being successfully targeted by law enforcement. To help me know what to advise, I give clients a 20-page online secure survey with a few hundred questions to answer. The survey covers every single aspect of their pain management or medical or pharmacy practice, and it takes them some hours to complete. But when I review it, I can assess where I think they're on track and where they might come up short were a cop or the DEA to walk into their office the next day and look at every patient file page by page. And together, we can fix any problems, help the provider or employer achieve and maintain compliance, and be ready in the event of an official inquiry. I welcome you to call or email if you have any questions or if you need help. Remember, you would always tell a person you cared about to go see a doctor now, not later, if they thought there were a medical problem. You deserve the same consideration and care before the fateful knock on the door from an agent carrying a search warrant and ready to do you harm. Follow your own good advice and practice legal wellness. It's just what the doctor's lawyer ordered.